Time's up.
What it do? What's up? Can Shai just keep in touch? What's going on, y'all? I am dropping in. We are doing a video to introduce myself, because who is Shai? Who is she? So I do want to do some cutting while I'm recording this video, just so I can get some work done. Kill two birds with one stone. That's kind of like, that's a bad saying, but it's a thing. I don't know, like, why is that a thing? But yeah, I'm going to be looking down because I have a lineup of questions I want to answer, and we're going to get into it. So let's go. All right. So let's get into it. First question is, who are you and where are you from? I'm Shai. My real name is Shaniqua, but I go by Shai, S-H-A-I, not Y. And I'm from, my favorite line, my famous line is, I'm from where I'm from, or like I'm from around the world. But technically, I was born in DC, Children's Hospital, and I was raised in Montgomery County, to be exact, like Gaithersburg area. If you know, you know. Most of my life after I was like 7, that's where I lived. Graduated high school, and then I went to Buffalo, New York. That's where I reside for college. It was an interesting time there. If y'all want a story time about that, we can have a story time about that. Just comment below. It was a very interesting time. And I literally lived there to focus on my college life, just getting my degree, and then I came back home, and now I reside in Buffalo, New York. So yeah. What inspired you to start your creative journey? Well, first of all, I've always been creative. If you know me, you know I've always been like drawing, dancing, being in some type of form of art. When it comes to like dancing, step, I was in. We created a step team at our high school. I was about to say college. At our high school, like our second or third year there. I don't know if it's still there. That's to be determined. But I know it was there a little bit after we had graduated. Also started the dance part of our PE at our school, which was fire. I love that for our PE teacher. I forgot her name, but I loved her so much. If I see her, you know, I'm bad with names. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm bad with names. But if I see you, I'm gonna be like, didn't we have some type of connection? But so, but yeah, so basically my whole childhood I was like part of art, drawing, music. I played the flute, played the guitar. Like I said, I stepped, danced. So yeah, I always stayed sketching. I had a sketchbook that I lost on the train. I was so mad. But I'll get into that in another question. But yeah, creativity was always a part of my life, to be quite honest, which is why it extended into my adulthood. I felt like I wouldn't be me if I didn't do something creative. I love making stuff with my hands. My godmom's mother, she always did renovations at her house. And me and my godmom will always go over there to help her, or I would stay over there with her mother and like help her get things done. She had like 2 or 3 cats. It was a whole vibe. She was making the second floor of her home. It was crazy but dope at the same time to be like a teenager actually doing like renovations for a house. So yeah, my life my life is interesting, but when it came to that, I definitely did a lot of volunteering when it came to like doing renovations and stuff like that too, which I think is part of like my creative life. I went to an art school, Villa Maria College, to get my fashion degree. So yeah, that's how it all comes together. So the third question is, how did you get into sewing, crocheting, and upcycling? Sewing, we all have a home ec class. You know, I made my first pillow in home ec in high school, and I know it was a Spider-Man pillow. That was my favorite Spider-Man pillow. I don't even know where it's at to this day. I'm kind of mad, but that was my favorite Spider-Man pillow. I made it in home ec, but crazy enough, I didn't even go to college to be a designer in clothing. I went to school to be a shoe designer, and I ended up loving making clothes. So it all switched around once I got to college. I actually learned how to crochet from one of my professors, Miss Reed. Thank you, sis. You were the best. You helped me get through my college life. For real, you did. I'll be watching you on social media. You still doing your big one at Buff State now. I'm so proud of you and all that you continue to do for the sewing community in Buffalo. In upcycling, my first project was me in sewing class in college. Like our basic sewing class was us upcycling pieces into new pieces, and I don't have the skirt anymore. One of my cousins have it. Long story, but one of my cousins have it, and it was pants that I turned into a pencil skirt, and I was amazed by that. And I was like, how? And then I made pants into like a top, like a fitted zip t-shirt type top, and it was like fire. If I have the picture still, I'll attach it. But yeah, it was fire. I'm gonna cut these. So that's what that was. So that's how all that came about. Crocheting, just continue. I actually started doing crochet and then tried to switch to knitting, and I didn't like the knitting. I give it to all the girlies that knit. I don't know how you do it, but it's not for me. It's not for me. I stopped crocheting and stuff a little bit. I didn't really get into it until I graduated, and I was home passing time, just making things at home. I think the first thing that I really crocheted was like my infinity jumbo, it's like a blanket, but like my infinity jumbo scarf. I still make them, but I personally make them. Like, even with me crocheting still to this day, I don't really go into that unless a family member asks or somebody close to me asks, because I don't even know how to price that type of thing. It is very time consuming, but I love doing it. I don't mind doing it. I don't even have the ones that I created for myself. And the last one I created was for my man. And he loves it. He was like, he wears it every year. And he literally be telling me, like, people be asking me where this thing came from. I'm not telling them. I'm like, I created a beanie to go with it. So he has, it's a two-piece set. I don't know. I feel like I should make them. But again, like I said, I wouldn't know how to price them because those are time consuming. And I purposely make them big so that they feel like they're going to hug you when it's wintertime. You know, you need that extra fashionable piece that's going to be a statement but still keep you warm. That's how I like it. You know. So yeah, I feel like I answered that, but yeah. What does sustainability mean to me personally? Sustainability means to me minimizing consumption of new items, especially with the amount of waste and fast fashion that we have. And not just fast fashion, like home decor, electronics. Like, a lot of it is we overconsume things, which is why I'm like, why can't we just make something old to something new? Maybe like simple and modern, classic X, Y, and Z. And that's what my idea of this brand was, like, coming up with ideas to refresh old pieces, period. So sustainability means to me, it's my life, honestly. Like, a lot of the items I have in my house are secondhand, from this desk to my rack. Like, a friend mother gave it to me for like $10. This stand I got off of Facebook Marketplace. The mirror I got from the trash in my neighborhood. I had it since I moved in this apartment. And then the table under it as well. Like, majority of the things here is secondhand. If it's not, then it's like I couldn't find it secondhand, or somebody was pricing the same price as the original, like, of me buying it new. But yeah, like I said, majority of the things in my house are secondhand, and I'm proud of that. I feel like my space is very cozy, very home, welcoming, I should say. So yeah, sustainability is life. If you don't get with it, then get lost, okay? Because not everything needs to be bought new for it to be like, for you to feel like it's new, What does a typical creative day look like for me? Honestly, me being in a house playing some music or watching YouTube or anime or a movie while I'm sewing, crocheting, just vibing, honestly. And in the middle, in between, is just making food, having just like a homebody vibe for me, not having to leave out, having the windows open, the light outside glistening in, and just vibing in my own space. That's how a regular creative day feels like for me. Like, me just knocking out work, but it not feeling like work, Another typical creative day would be probably like, if I had to leave out, just like me going to see my friends at one of their markets, or like meeting up with them at a cafe to get a drink, talking about business, then going to the thrift store afterwards for a little bit, coming home, seeing what I thrifted, seeing what I'm going to create into it, and then just going from there. It's always something different. Like, I feel like as long as I'm exuding what I love to do and being around the ones that love to do what they do and love me as much as I love them, I feel like I'm typically in my element. What are the 3 things people wouldn't expect about you? We'll pause. Let's rewind. What are the 3 things people wouldn't expect about you? All right, let's make it easy. I love hiking. I'm a big nature person. Like, I love hiking. I actually love camping and being out in nature. That can be one whole one. 2, I'm not a sports girly. Like, you try to talk to me about basketball, football, any of that, I'm gonna be looking at you like, you got it. I'll watch it with you, like, if that's something you like. But the closest sport I'll get close to getting to watch is maybe boxing. And that's just personal to me because how I was raised. But yeah. What else? I love to dress up, but I don't dress up. I'm a big person on dressing like a tomboy. If people see me, they gonna be like, "What? That doesn't make any sense." Yeah, cause y'all see me on a day to day dressing with cargos, tee. Like I dress nice. Don't get me wrong, but the way I want to dress is not necessary for my day to day life because I work in a warehouse, like factory type situation. So total opposite to what I do outside of life, outside of work, I should say. So yeah, I hope that answers that. If y'all want more answers to that, then y'all just gonna have to watch and learn. We'll get to the other points in my life. Number 7, how about your personal growth and alignment with your brand journey? Um, well, that is actually interesting because funny enough, when I first, like, again, my life is sustainability, my life is upcycle, thrifting, all the things. So when I first started my business or wanting to start a business, I did home decor. I was reselling home decor like modern, Afro, chic, luxe pieces. I still buy those pieces, but just for myself. And I put them around my apartment to make my space what it is. But I don't do that anymore. I definitely geared away from that after I realized like I was implementing like certain small sewing things that I would do into the business at first as well. I did enjoy the part of me making candles more. I don't really do that anymore. That's how I first started making using vintage glassware to make candles. But now I'm more specific. I'm going to definitely get back to that, but now it's more directed in me and who I am creatively and what I believe in when it comes to clothing, and still being modern, still being not with the times. I don't want to say with the times. I don't like to follow trends. Let's just say that. I have pieces that might seem trendy, but I'm not really a person that follows trends per se because they're trends. They start and they go away, you know? I want my pieces to be timeless so that even if you don't keep it, you want to give it to a family member, you want to give it to a friend, you give it to the thrift store, back to the thrift store, you know, years from now, whatever the case may be. Like somebody else is going to pick this up and be like, "Oh, dad, whoever did this or whoever X, Y, and Z snapped, like this is a timeless piece." That's why I always want people to think about when they grab a piece from me. So yeah, it started from home decor and it slowly elevated into clothing. I wanted to use my degree. I honestly felt like if I wasn't going to be in the fashion industry full time for like a company, I was going to do it for myself. I really feel like the stigma of my generation and younger generations getting a degree that's not being used is a thing, and it's like, okay, how do I use my degree? Start your own business, start something, you know, that makes you feel like you did all that you did for a reason. I honestly do love what I do also, which is why I continue to create. But yeah, and my business is always growing. I feel like even with what I'm doing now, I want to elevate it even more. I have sketchbooks on sketchbooks of stuff that I want to still put into my collections, but I have to get there, you know? So baby steps. Last question. What was the first item you ever made that made you feel proud? I will say for my business, I will say my drape jackets was my pride and joy. That's one of my staple pieces. I think I have I do have one, but it's not the same. Those are the quilted ones. It just don't hit the same. I don't have no more right now because I've been working and shifting my collection to more summer items. I will say for my summer pride and joy, I would most likely say my tie polos. My tie polos are my pride and joy during the spring and summer. I feel like they're all, like, again, all these pieces are year-round pieces. Can be, depending on, like, what you're using them for, what city you live in, how you're wearing it. But yeah, those are my pride and joys. Like, the drape jacket, when I first started making those with tapestry drape jackets, those were the bangers. People was going crazy over those. My best sellers are my cropped button ups. Very sleek, very to the point. I didn't even cut anything. I've been sitting here talking to y'all, answering the questions. But I'm definitely going to get to cutting these. I've actually expanded from the long sleeve to the short sleeve. Also doing a few tie elements with t-shirts. I want to get more into that as well, but I'm a very specific when it comes to color, pattern, design, especially with using upcycling. I'm still grabbing pieces with intention. So it's not like, okay, you're just upcycling anything. Yes, to a certain extent I am, because I don't know what I'm going to go into the thrift store for. I might go into the thrift store for some candles. I might go into the thrift store for some yarn. I might go in there and see some bags of beads and be like, hey, yo, this might be hard as a bracelet. Or I might see some table mats and feel like the same thing could come about for a bag or anything of the sort. So I just expand from my eye, like creative ideas that I see in the store. And I might even have a video or two showing y'all how I pick out certain pieces. I just have to get used to having my phone out or a camera out when I'm doing that, because again, I'm a very to the point person when I go into stores. Like, if I need something, I'm getting that, and that's all I'm looking for. I'm not really scoundering all day to be in there. I'm not trying to spend my whole day in a thrift store. I have spent hours in a thrift store before, but it's also been with intention because I have a long list of things that I need to find. And I'm not really trying to constantly keep going to thrift store. Again, that's overconsumption. Like, you just constantly going to the thrift store when other people need items as well. Things don't always, you don't have to shop obsessively. You don't have to shop just to be shopping. And then there's some people that really do shop emotionally, and that's cool, but that's not my goal for my brand. I want you to shop with intention, but also be like, hey, I actually can use this piece for multiple different outfits. Oh, I can not only just wear this as a shirt, but I can wear this as a jacket or a cover up while I'm going out. Just a quick little one too. If you know, like, my brand is very transparent when it comes to individuals. It's not for one specific person, even though people might look at it like that. Like, my crop button ups are not cut to a certain length that a dude can't wear it. Like, why just cut it and not have a clean finish when you can have a clean finish and still look good, So that's what I do. I hope that answered all of the questions for now. If y'all have any other questions, put it down below and I'll answer them in the next Q&A, I guess. Hope y'all liked. Please follow, like, and subscribe. And see you next time. Peace.